Everybody thinks when their RV fridge stops cooling that they have a refrigerant leak. Here is the super easy test that anybody can do that does not require any special tools that will tell you if this is the case for you. Hi, hello, my name is Emily. I am a certified RV repair tech, and this is RV Repairwoman. All you're gonna do to confirm if you have a refrigerant leak in your fridge is perform the see, smell, hear test. You are going to open up the back panel of your fridge so you can get to the guts, and you are going to look for a yellow dye. If you see a bright neon powdery dye anywhere in the back of your fridge, that is a sign that you have a cooling unit leak. They put that dye in the refrigerant to help detect leaks. But sometimes your crack in your cooling unit might happen higher up in the back of your fridge where you can't see it. That's where the other two parts of the see, smell, hear test are going to come in handy. So we're going to try to smell for ammonia. Your refrigerant is made up of 4 main ingredients: hydrogen, ammonia, sodium chromate, and water. Ammonia has a very strong smell. They used to put it in some cleaning products. So if you get a strong cleaning product smell out of your fridge out of nowhere and you didn't recently clean it, very good sign that the ammonia has gotten out. And then the final step of the see, smell, hear test is to listen for a gurgling noise. These fridges normally on their own should be near silent when they are running. Other than maybe the sound of the flame in the back, if you have it on propane, there shouldn't really be any other noises coming from the back of the fridge. So if you hear the sound of like a babbling brook when you put your ear up to that open compartment, then that means that air has gotten into the pipes of your cooling unit. If air has gotten in, then that means refrigerant has come out. It's a two-way street. So these are the 3 main things you are going to keep an eye, a nose, and an ear out for. It's called the see, smell, hear test, and it is a common test that techs run all of the time on these absorption style fridges. If you decide that you have a cooling unit leak, you either saw the dye, smelled ammonia, or heard a gurgling noise, then I want you to stop running that fridge immediately. Here's why. The refrigerant in your fridge is made up of 4 main ingredients: ammonia, water, sodium chromate, and hydrogen. That's the same gas that they put in the Hindenburg balloon. Hydrogen is even more volatile than propane. So think of all of the safeties that you have in your RV to keep propane from getting to igniters and flames when it's not supposed to be there. We want to double down even more when it comes to hydrogen. It also just so happens that there is an igniter and a flame built into the back of your fridge. So we really don't want that hydrogen getting to that flame. As soon as you realize that you have a refrigerant leak, do not run that fridge, especially on propane. Unfortunately, your options at that point are either to replace the cooling unit, so just the back guts of the fridge, or to replace the whole fridge itself. Right now, there isn't a fantastic way to fix these cooling units and get more refrigerant in them. There are a very few number of techs in the country that do this kind of work, and they usually charge a premium for it because it is so niche. So that's something you can look into, especially if you're in an area where RVing is very popular. There's maybe a chance you can find one of those techs, but they're very, very few and far between. I'm gonna say like over 95% of the time, you're looking at either replacing the cooling unit or replacing the whole fridge. If you don't see any dye, smell any ammonia, or hear a gurgling noise and your fridge still will not cool, here's what I want you to do. Still at that back access panel of the fridge, go ahead and remove this panel here. It's usually attached with like 3 or 4 screws, and behind it should be a tube. Very carefully, see if that tube is getting hot. Not just warm, hot. If your fridge isn't cooling, but that tube is getting hot, that is another really good sign that you have a refrigerant leak in your fridge. All of the electronics that are happening behind your fridge are just there to get this tube hot. And after that, it's all about the chemical reactions and the refrigerant being able to move around the cooling unit. I would potentially look at making sure that you have really good ventilation happening behind your fridge and make sure that your fridge is super level. level. These are two other things that these types of fridges are really finicky about. But other than that, all signs are still pointing towards a bad cooling unit. But if that tube is not getting hot, that is actually a fantastic sign that whatever is wrong with your fridge is going to be way simpler and cheaper to replace than your entire cooling unit. That's a really good indication that something in your fridge isn't working electrically, and electrical problems are much easier to solve than cooling unit problems. If you would like, you can head on over to rvrepairwoman.com/fridges. I have a course that'll cost you less than what any tech is going to charge to come out and see you, and instead it'll walk you through step by step how to diagnose every part that you see in the back of your fridge. Instead of combing around through YouTube for the next couple hours hoping you find the solution, instead we can just get your fridge diagnosed today. You'll feel like a total pro by the end, and you will always have this information in your back pocket in case you need it in the future. You got this. The link's also in the description.